Hello everybody, my name is Walter and this is episode 74 of my Redstone Commands Series. In the 1.21.5 update, a new option was introduced for some of the commands we already talked about, and that is the optional argument strict. Now, this is such a useful tool that I decided to make an episode about this, and that's what we're here for today. But what is the new argument actually about? Well, when you use the strict, you suppress all block and shape updates in the affected area. This means that you won't trigger observers or block update detectors, which is very, very useful, especially when you're, for example, using clone or place template to put redstone contraptions into the world, which tend to break when they contain observers and pistons. So I'm very, very happy with this change here. Subsequently, there are 4 commands affected. You have the set block, the fill, the clone, and the place template. For place command, it's only the template that actually has the strict option. So let's quickly go through the changed syntax. So for the set block, we have set block, then the coordinates, the block, and then we have additionally to destroy, keep, and replace the strict option. So it's one of those 4 here. For the fill command, we have again, as usual, fill. Then we define the area, the block, and then it splits into 2 paths. You can either use keep, and that's it. So no strict option there. Or you can then continue with an optional replacement filter. And then you have again either destroy, hollow, outline, or, and that's the new option, strict. For clone, it works as usual. So we have clone. Then we can define optionally our source dimension. Then we have the area we want to clone from. Then we can define a target dimension if you want. Then we need the northeast lower corner of the target area. And following that, we can then insert our strict argument. And then we continue with either replace, mask, or filter. And then force, move, or normal. And finally, for place, or to be more precise, place template. So we have place, then template, and then the template. Then, optionally, coordinates. If you have the coordinates, you can then define the rotation. If you have that, you can define the mirror. If you have that, you can define the integrity. And if you have that, you can define the seed. And only if you have all of that here, you can end it with a strict. So you need the full command with rotation, mirror, integrity, seed, and coordinates before you can actually define the strict option here. So that is a bit annoying, but if you know about this, it's not a real issue. And with that, let's just have a quick look at an example. So what I have over there is a slightly spruced up 7x7 volt door, which works perfectly fine, as you can see down there. And for some reason, we want a copy somewhere else. And up to this point, you would have to use a clone command like this here, so no strict option, as you can see. And what happens when you do this? Yeah, you can see some of those observers triggered, and now you have pistons and blocks out of place. And if we now try to close the door, you can see it doesn't work. Now in this case, it's not too much of an issue. You can just put those blocks here manually back into position. And alternatively, you could also just trigger the pistons themselves. But it's tedious, it's annoying, and bigger doors will completely break, and you will have to basically rebuild them from scratch. There are some tricks around this, but it's not necessary now, because if we use the clone command with strict, you can see that it's not broken, and we can still use the lever down there, so you can see it's not a fluke. The door was copied correctly. So very nice to see that. And that is the main reason I'm so happy with this new addition. One last thing I would like to show you. So here in this fill command, let's for a moment remove the strict. And then you will see that all of those redstone components, well, popped off as items and are now lying or falling to the floor. No, the void in this case. If we add the strict option again, Let me just summon in this here again. Due to the missing block updates, the redstone components don't pop off and are properly and cleanly deleted. This is also a nice side effect because if you are working in a redstone world and you're building some stuff and you just want to delete something that is not working as intended and start anew or whatever, and you have a redstone contraption below that has observers that need to be filled with specific items and so, and then something pops off and falls in there, you can break stuff that is below the contraption you're working on. So again, I'm very happy with this new option right there. And with that, we've reached the end of this episode about the new optional strict argument. I hope you enjoyed it. I wish you a nice day, and well, see you.